What up, everybody? We got, what is it, episode 7 today?
Yeah, I think so.
Episode 7 of the LifeCall podcast. You got me, B. Varon, driving the podcast. We got Justin.
What's going on?
And today we got Keegan Barrows.
Yes.
Keegan Barrows on. He's a cross-country biker.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Keegan Barrows, 21 years old. I live up in Cheshire, Mass,
Mhm.
and I race XC bikes for Alias Elite Racing.
Okay, so full
racing.
full on the deal.
Yep.
Like this is your, you're not like part-time student or anything like that. Like
No,
this
I'm done with school. I stopped going to college to pursue this.
Hell yeah! All right, so I think this marks a first full professional on the pod.
Yeah, I mean, would you consider yourself professional? On the come up, at least.
Yeah,
for sure,
like
right?
devoted.
Definitely devoted, headed towards that track.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I can say professional yet, but I think we're gonna be there eventually.
We're using it as a relative term here.
Yeah.
So for instance, we've had just hobbyists on for the most part leading up to this. I
this is your job.
The closest to this that we've had a professional on would probably, I'd say maybe in this kind of dynamic would probably be James Skinner, but Skinner's a few years removed from
if it was
training.
James Skinner 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had people on that at once upon a time, we're in that vibe and pursuing this, but this is an active, you're an active.
Yeah. I put my whole life on pause to do this, full-time training, a couple coaches.
Okay.
We're all in on this.
So let's, where did it start? Where did the bike ordeal get started? And let's just kind of what were the building blocks to get you where you're at right now?
Yeah. Cause when I first met you, we were at an event somewhere. I forget where, up in New Hampshire. So we were filming for John Day. And this was right about the time when you started getting into road biking or XC riding.
Yeah.
And you were still in school. And then the next time I saw you, you were like, yeah, I dropped out, man. Full commit.
Yeah, it was crazy how it all happened. COVID happened and I was in high school still. So I'd go to the park, Thunder Mountain, all the time. And then I don't know where it went from there. I decided one day I'm going to try road biking. And I just slowly got into road biking.
So you're talking downhill laps at Thunder and stuff.
Oh, full downhill, transition patrol enduro bike.
Sick.
I'll never wear spandex type of deal.
Okay, yeah.
I hate roadies.
All right.
Yeah, so full like that. And then I went to college and I had a roommate, Lucas, and we would do our thing in college, set up our indoor biking, and I met John Day. And then I was racing road a lot, and I just was like, John, I want to take it to the next level. What do you recommend? And he didn't tell me to stop going to school, but he was like, you're going to get really busy. And I have the type of personality where I can't do two things. If I'm in school, I'm fully focused on school.
Yeah.
And I can't focus on racing too and trying to take it professionally. So I was like, I'm done with school.
It's good, man.
Let's just
you're over commitment type of person.
Over, yeah.
Well, it's they say that this is the time, 21 years old, that you have so much ahead of you that you can take a few years right now to throw yourself at this and give it 110% and really kind of get the fruits of the labor. Whereas say you were in school, it's well, instead of giving 110%, you're giving it 70%. And then the other 30%, you're trying to pass your classes and make sure that school isn't a waste. So at least this way, it's full devotion. Cause my buddy went to University of Alabama and he had a roommate first year that was super hardcore competitive MMA fighter. And it was he didn't understand how he had the time to devote to studies and then also devote to training and everything like that. He could tell that it was a takeaway from both for him. So I could definitely see why. And I feel John Day, out of all people, are going to know what it takes to he started J-Day pretty early and everything like that. So it's he knows what it takes to kind of push shit and make it happen.
Your connection.
He was and he was my driving force. So
he's also kind of your coach, right?
He's my coach, and he plays such a big part in my life as a mentor too. So
how did you figure out that it was worth getting? Were you doing competitions and placing really well?
I had a couple good results, but it was more my fitness.
Okay.
I had massive fitness spikes quickly.
Okay.
And I think that's from my years of gymnastics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely intense.
So it's not I just jumped on a bike and had this great gift.
Yeah.
I've been doing gymnastics my whole life.
Okay.
And then I was I'm having good fitness, and slowly but surely things were coming together fast. And I was maybe we just go in on, because my thing is, what if? What if I don't go all in on it? In 10 years, like I'll never be able to say I've tried fully. I was
Okay.
like halfway, and I want to go all the way.
How far removed from the gymnastics to the biking were you?
I stopped doing gymnastics sophomore year of high school, and then like played lacrosse my junior year. Just 1 year. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then I started downhill mountain biking, and then like 2023, I got serious about this.
Yeah.
So like 2 or 3 years apart.
Okay, yeah, because I could imagine that from the gymnastics, like you're wicked pliable. Like you probably have like your legs, your ligaments, everything's like pretty tuned up and ready for riding a bike. And compared to like somebody who's lived like a more I don't want to say stagnant, but like more like uniform movement. With gymnastics, you're kind of going all over the place, a lot of flexibility in that. So like that in and of itself is a really good basis for any kind of activity that you're going to do.
I agree. And I think like the overall strength that I've like developed from gymnastics transferred so easily. And like I know my body already.
Very true.
So like a lot of people just getting into it, sports, I feel like have to learn their body.
Yeah,
I already
the motor
know my
skills.
body. I know where I am like in the air and that kind of stuff. So slowly just like transferred over.
So how long did you do gymnastics for?
My whole life. 2 to 16, 14 or 15 years.
Wow.
I competed up and down like on the East Coast, a couple state championship and regional championship titles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you took it serious.
I think that's where I got it from too. Like that like started my life being so disciplined with that and training full time. I think it just kind of like that's how I grew up. So now it's like everything I do, I want to be super like just all in or all out.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels. It's like with the gymnastics, and at a young age, like I know like a couple of gymnasts or like people with those weird niche hobbies, or like it's necessarily not like a blatant team sport or whatever. Like it takes a lot of discipline when you're doing it yourself, because it's like you competing against other individuals. So it's like you have to have like all the devotion for your skill to like pull off that performance in front of, because I'm sure you weren't judged competitions, like they're all judged. So there's a lot of scrutiny behind what you're about to do. So you have to be really disciplined on the training to make sure that when time comes to shine, the effort you put in shows and you have the same result like you had in practice and stuff. So like I could see why you have that really dedicated and like steadfast approach to this now. So
I think it also like hurt me in a way though, because when I tried like a team sport like lacrosse for high school, I've never played a team sport. So like getting along with the team was the hardest thing ever. And like when people wouldn't put in their own work to carry the weight, like their weight, it would frustrate me.
Definitely.
It was like team sports. Like I was like, that's when I realized like I can't do a team sport, and maybe that like hurt me, but
I wouldn't even say it hurt you though, because maybe you're kind of like more geared for that solo journey, like that solo performance kind of sport, instead of like some people like you said, like you can only do so much to change your teammates' behavior.
Right.
And if you're better off in like a gymnastic or a biking or like a solo performance sport versus a team sport, then it's like, you can kind of just keep control of yourself and you don't have to worry about that other stuff. So like maybe it would hurt you if like you were supposed to be some like crazy professional like team sports athlete and you had to get over that, but like it seems like you're chilling in this biking thing and it's paying off for you.
Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely satisfied with that.
So the gymnastics, the biking, downhill biking, and then talk to John Day to get into the cross country. So what was like your first couple cross country events like, and like what was your like initial like feet in the water event?
Well, before we get into this, I'm curious on how you got into biking from gymnastics to lacrosse and then to downhill mountain biking at Thunder. Like that's just like a crazy switch up.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. That is actually a pretty crazy switch up.
So my aunt actually, like how I got into mountain biking, my aunt Sherry, she does like cross country mountain biking and group rides out of like local bike shops. And she was like, do you want to join on a ride? And I was like, yeah, I can do that or whatever. So I went out and bought like a hardtail mountain bike, and I went one time, and it just like, I was like, I like clicked. It's like nothing actually clicked with me since gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like I tried dirt bikes a little bit and lacrosse, and it clicked. I just like loved it.
Yeah.
And my best friend, Lucas Field, his brother is Nick Cordana. And I've always known who he was just from racing J-Day and whatever, and watching him race. And Lucas was like, oh, I'm going with my brother on a mountain bike ride. And I'm like, well, I want to join. Like, yeah, I want to be friends with Nick. I want to ride with him.
Yeah.
And then it just like, I love it. I like developed such a growing passion for it, and now it just like gets me going.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's like initially you just it just clicked. You had that passion, and it's just like all it took was like your aunt asking you that one little thing.
She was like, "Do you want a mountain bike?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot, see what happens." I just loved it.
That's awesome. That's a pretty cool way to like make that connection and like make that jump into stuff.
Yeah,
that's how it happens.
And then my Lucas's sister's boyfriend, Mike, he's like big in the downhill. I don't know, Mike Morris.
Not sure.
He's like big downhill rider. He's like, "Do you want to come to the park one day?" And I like learned what downhill riding was, and I was like hooked on that.
Yeah,
it was pretty sinister.
So after your downhill mountain biking, did you kind of have like, you kind of phased out and then you went road biking?
Yeah, I like had this weird, I don't even know, because they're not even the same. I just had this weird thing where I was like, oh, I'll try road biking now. Like anything with two wheels was getting me fired up. So I tried road biking, started racing that, and then that was getting me fired up. And then John, we like talked, and John was like, "Oh, do you want to try like XC racing?" And we went back and forth, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it." He's like, "I have a bike for you."
Yeah, I was at your first race. That's the one I filmed. You used John's bike.
Yeah, I used John's bike.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, this is it. This is like road biking fitness, because I like that part. But then like I still get the mountain biking part. I was like, you can't beat that.
Yeah, when I was checking out some of the clips on the gram to kind of like get a feel for what you're actually doing, and I follow John Day too. You know, ever since you know he founded J Day and was into the dirt bike stuff. So I've watched him make the transition too, and like just following him and seeing his stuff pop up and seeing him start this XC cross and everything. I was looking at a lot of your stuff and I was like, wow, this does seem like a really interesting like concept, because I love, like I grew up like riding BMX bikes in the neighborhood and like adventuring around town, doing long rides with my buddies and everything. But I got into a couple accidents like middle school and just kind of like got away from it. Like had to go to the hospital a couple times, like blew my leg open, needed stitches, and was just like, you know what, maybe the BMX trying to like do tricks all the time isn't for me. So I like stopped it. But I've kind of been wanting to get back into it because my girlfriend, she went to a college town and she was like big. That's how she got around, was biking. And so she's like been pushing me to kind of get like, you know, just as like a fitness thing for us to do together, do like road biking, because her family's into it and everything like that as well. And I was looking at this and I was like, it's so cool because you're seeing cool scenery, you have obstacles. So it's like stuff to change up all the time. And then it's also just the endurance and the pushing factor. So it's like a blend of the downhill technicality, but then also the road biking endurance. And it's kind of like the perfect blend between the two of them. And it kind of sounds like that it was the perfect blend for you.
Yeah, it was. It like took up road biking, like I said, and then downhill mountain biking, just like you said, blended it together, and I love it. There's a picture of John and I up there, and we raced Whiteface last year in June together.
Is Whiteface up in the White Mountains?
It's up in Wilmington, New York,
okay,
by Lake Placid. So we raced that together. And that was like the first time I got to like line up with John, but I was in no fitness shape to actually compete with him.
Yeah.
And then in January, we went to Florida together, and we actually raced together. And that was the first time ever that I like lined up next to John with the confidence that I might be able to beat him. I ended up finishing 5th behind him, 9 minutes for a 4-hour race. So that was like kind of where it clicked. Like, okay, obviously my fitness is improving.
So 4-hour race. Is it just like once the gun goes off, like it's just going down the pit track for 4 hours and just kind of seeing, is it like who's completed the most distance after 4 hours? Like, how does it work?
So there's circuits, right?
Yeah. So like those races are like called XCM, like cross country marathon races. So they're normally like 100 kilometers, 66 miles, I think.
Okay.
And it's normally laps. Like that was laps. We did like 6 laps of the course. And then XCO is like cross country Olympic. And you'd race for like 90 minutes on like 15-minute lap times.
Okay.
So that's like what race day is. I've been racing a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Whiteface, I'm going up next week in the race. That's a marathon. It's a big 66-mile loop.
Okay, so it's like a point-to-point kind of deal.
Yeah,
you do one
loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still blows my mind like how in shape you guys are.
Yeah,
to do this. Like, what is like a good average ride for you? How many miles?
It definitely like depends on the day, but like right now I go off like hours. I'm averaging like 15 hours a week. I think just over 200 miles a week with some workouts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just strictly biking. You're doing everything else around too with this.
Yeah, and like tons of pedaling. I think like year to date I have 4,000 miles on my legs.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Could literally pedal to Florida.
This guy could pedal across the United States with that mileage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of zone 2 training and just.
Yeah, I saw that on an Instagram post where you said zone 2 training. What's that? What's like the zone training?
So I'm like, zone 2 training is like you train at like a specific percentage of your heart rate.
Okay.
And I'm like no scientist, but like in like your power zones,
okay.
like you have like a power meter.
Yeah, I've seen that with some biking. Like you can measure it in what wattage or
yeah,
whatever.
Your watts. You like train within a specific number of your wattage and heart rate. And that's like to just build. I like could get this wrong, so don't quote on me.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like it builds like capillaries in your muscles and it's just a continuous motion.
Okay.
So that when you do hard efforts, your blood has places to go in your legs and muscles. It's just to build like overall fitness.
Yeah, I could.
So you're keeping yourself in this wattage and heart rate.
It's like your body's way to grow fitness and be super efficient at like using fat for fuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess like it's true. Like, you know, like with any professional athlete, like you do have to like fine tune it to whatever sport and activity you're doing. So that's just like your way to condition your body for that specific type of performance. All right, that makes sense. That's kind of what I had a feeling it was because, you know, like I didn't know if I had a feeling it was kind of like a, you know, keeping you in that specific zone or area because I mean, like I've learned it from, you know, when I was a few years ago, I was taking running pretty seriously. Want to get back into it. You know, we've been slacking and stuff, but I talked to, you know, my girlfriend's brother and he was a seer. He'd run marathons and do this stuff. And he was like, what's your training like? And I was like, what do you mean? What's my training like? He's like, what are you doing weekly? And I was like, oh, my goal is to just like hit 3 miles in the trail, like hit a like a 25 to 30 minute 5K in the trail and then run the track as long as I can. He's like, and you just do that every time? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no, you need to vary. Like, you need variation. You need to like have
some interval training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, you need to have some days where you're going to do slower, longer distances, faster, shorter. You need to like give yourself variation and also targets. He's like, because if you're just running yourself flat out every time, he's like, you're beating yourself up. And it was true. Like I was starting to have like problems with my knees and everything like that. And then once I did change it up, like I was finding that like my numbers were going down. Like my overall times and like it was like less effort to go further and to go as fast and I was like, oh, like I was just going at it, you know, like I wasn't really like no rhyme or reason, no research, like I was just having fun and enjoying it.
Yeah, of course.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Yeah,
mountain biking.
I love it.
What's like some of your favorite rides you've done? Like you, because on the Instagram I've seen you're in Arkansas, Florida, and some other places. Like what's some of your favorite like terrain you've gone at and what's some of your least favorite kind of stuff to ride on?
My least favorite stuff to ride on, Arizona for sure.
Okay.
The sandy terrain, it's just like sand and rocks. It does not do it for me. It doesn't get me jazzed up. I feel like you can take a gravel bike on some of it. And maybe that's because I'm so used to New England terrain and maybe it's because I'm not as good as riding on that terrain. So I just don't like it. But like, that terrain did not get me fired up.
So what about the terrain? Is it that it takes more like effort to manage the ride? So it's not as much of like just straightforward, like can just put the effort in? Is it like more of you have to monitor yourself on the terrain a little bit more maybe?
It's kind of like boring terrain.
Okay.
Yes. It's just kind of like sand. If you're not, I don't know. To me, it almost feels like a gravel bike ride. And like when
like
I think
loose dirt, rock rollers type of stuff.
Yeah, like when I think of mountain biking, I think of like New England rocks and roots and like loamy dirt and fast descents. I don't like to just mountain bike on gravel.
Yeah.
So, and the cactuses, like I've crashed a couple times there, and you get like, you get them all stuck in you.
Like real cactuses.
Yeah, it's like just like a headache to be out there.
Yeah, that does. I mean, it's the desert. I feel like the desert makes everything a little bit more miserable no matter what it is. So I guess that pans out. That's consistent.
But the road riding in Arizona was sweet.
Yeah. What is it like? Is it just nice, flat?
It's
the
just
roads
open. Like Tucson, where I was, everybody goes there to train in the winter, and every Saturday morning do like a shootout ride, which is like the hardest group ride in America. And like a bunch of world tour pros show up.
Okay.
And you do like 100 miles all out.
Like, would you say every morning?
Every Saturday morning. It's such a sinister group ride. It's so hard.
That sounds
love the
suffer. Brutal, dude.
I love the suffer part of it.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's where your determination comes from.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people quit. They don't have the drive like you do.
Yeah, you just get locked in.
I just love that like suffer. It's like kind of weird. Like if you're talking to like a normal person about it, it's like, oh, why would you want to suffer like that? I don't know. It's just, I just love that. Like,
Yeah,
suffer.
it's almost like you get like a dopamine high
Yeah.
from that suffering.
I think I do.
No, I think that's like that pans out, and I think like we might have a little bit of that when we go for like like when we go on like the tri-pyramid hike. It's like that type 2 fun.
Mhm.
It's like it's like sucks. It's like a brutal time. It's like
rewarding type of
but it's like rewarding, and like I like to say like, is the juice worth the squeeze all the time?
Mhm.
And it's like when you're fucking squeezing the juice out that hard, the juice tastes a little bit sweeter.
It does. Yeah,
like
I like that.
You're cutting. You're going that extra cut above the rest of people, and like when you hit that suffering part, like physical suffering while you're doing a workout or doing an activity, like you're taking it to that next level that like not everybody can say that they do.
Mhm.
So I feel like there's a little bit of pride in it too. It's not just like the masochistic, like, oh, I fucking love pain, like this is part of the game. It's also kind of like there's pride in it,
like that sense of accomplishment. Like
exactly.
I just finished that. Yeah.
And to do that every Saturday, it also gives you something to look forward to, because say like you said you're with a bunch of like it's a shootout, and like some of the best guys in the world go there to train.
It was pretty cool to like ride next to literally some of the best dudes to do it. Like I would be riding, and Keegan Swenson, he's a big time gravel guy, he would be right next to me, and like you could be like, oh hey, what's up, man? Like it's just like so euphoric to me. It is like the coolest thing.
You're brushing elbows with somebody.
Yeah, it's like almost like I have to like not like prove myself. Like they don't really care, but like to me, it's like I want to prove myself. Like I want to be with them.
And also like I could see it kind of like giving you a really good measuring bar, like every week to have something like that hardcore to look forward to, and to know like you can kind of know, like say you had a really killer week of training, like Monday to Friday, and then you can kind of see the fruits of that labor on Saturday compared to like some of the other people that you're brushing elbows with.
Yeah.
You said it's like 100-mile road ride?
Yeah, road ride.
And so if is it some other like road bike guys go and like train in Tucson and stuff like as well, or is it just a lot of the XC guys and like gravel guys and whatnot?
No, Tucson is like it's like all the road dudes go there. It's definitely where they go for the winter. But even the XC guys, like I have a road bike too. Like most of my training is done on my road bike, and I take my like, mountain bike out in the woods. So I ride both equally as much. But for that winter, I only really rode in the desert on my mountain bike a couple times. The road riding was too good. Mount Lemon was there to climb, the shootout.
So it's like some decent like elevation change and everything like that.
I think Mount Lemon, if you climb it, it's like the top, like you live, I think Tucson's at like 1,500 feet. Mount Lemon, it's like a 22-mile climb up to like 9,500 feet.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty huge. Like, sinister.
Wow.
Yeah, it was massive.
That's hard, dude. Like that would probably take me solid 20 hours, like, because I can imagine like you said, it's a 22-mile up. And so like what's like a good speed when you're like going uphill? Like is it like 10 miles an hour? Is it like,
I think that's like, I don't think that's the simplest question.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It has so much to do with like how much you weigh.
Yeah.
The grade of what you're climbing. There's so many like factors that go into it. I think you would like base, like the best way to do it is base like your climbing based on like a certain power zone. Like, oh, I want to ride this climb at like tempo power or threshold.
Okay.
Like I think that would be like your best way to go off.
Yeah. And that's also like, forgive me for having a little bit of like I've no like 5% of what I should to properly talk to somebody like you on like cross country biking and everything like that.
Oh, it's fine.
So like I know the terms, but I don't know exactly like how much they mean and what they mean and everything. But yeah, so I guess like that was like what do you aim for when you're doing a climb like that in terms of power?
That's definitely like to go up that and get a good workout. You're probably gonna do a tempo effort all the way up it. Probably go in the zone 2 a little bit, seeing how it's so long. But I did my interval. I would always like go there to do my intervals. So I'd go threshold efforts up it, whatever the workout was, turn around, come down. But yeah, that's how it's done. Just to go up it. I mean, sometimes stuff's so steep, you just have to be in a higher power just to even get up.
Yeah,
there.
so I get why you brought it up in that way.
Yeah.
Is like it's not like a mile per hour zone, because at some parts of that climb you might be at tempo to withstand like, you know, a decent speed, but then just to kind of make effort up a certain part in a certain grade, you may actually have to dip into a higher exertion zone.
Sometimes you might stand up and like lay down some watts and go 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because are these bikes geared?
Yeah, so like my road bike it's geared more to like go faster.
Yeah.
Like on the flat, but I can climb it. And my mountain bike, like it has like a 36 tooth front chain ring, and like in the back it's like 10 by 52.
Mm-hmm.
That's normal, right?
Yeah, because my enduro bikes are usually 32 front or 30. Usually 32, yeah. But that's geared more for climbing stuff.
Yeah.
Like easy, quick pedal strokes.
Yeah.
But
I needed to put a bigger front chain ring on. I want to go faster.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of like gets me into a little certain point, and you know, I had completely blanked on this before we started recording, but I wanted to like ask you, because you're into bikes, I wanted to talk a little bit about the technicality and like, you know, what kind of bike are you riding, like what's it like?
Yeah, for a lot of people, I guess we should start with the understanding of the different bikes, because when we say XC biking,
downhill,
cross country,
gravel, like there's all different kinds of bikes. The hardtail mountain bike, like I guess I saw this as a good opportunity for an episode, because we've had some biking guys, we've had downhill bike guys on, and we're gonna have guys on in the future. But I figured this would be a good episode to kind of like, let's talk about like the different types of bikes there are and like what sets them out from each other.
I would say there's like 4 different types of bikes. So you got XC, trail, enduro, and downhill.
I agree. And then,
subcategory of an e-bike or whatever.
Yeah, and then like a hardtail, which would be like trail bike, just with no rear suspension.
Okay. Yeah. So you got cross country, which is mainly shorter travel suspension.
Like 120, 120.
Yep. And then trail is usually like 140, 150. Enduro goes up to usually around 170, and then downhill is 200.
So these numbers like millimeters of travel
for front,
the stroke of the travel of the suspension. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so what'd you say a downhill bike is? Because I'd imagine a downhill bike's
like 200.
So so the downhill bike's spongy. You know, like you can kind of see people popping with those a little bit, like when you're riding and everything, like doing pumping and a little everything like that in the downhill.
I think you're right. I think the way you sit on a downhill bike is different too. Because like I know on my XC bike, I'm more like laid forward.
Yeah,
like laid out on it.
Okay.
It's more raked out and it's back farther. Because when you think about the angle of your body position going downhill, you want to be back farther off the bike.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas XC and stuff like that, it's more climbing related and pedal stroking. So you actually sit farther and lean over the front more.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
It's like you're pedaling for you're pedaling for a different purpose on an XC versus like a downhill, and in the frequency too.
Yeah. And XCs have the least amount of travel just for efficiency.
Because you can imagine trying to pedal hardcore on a downhill, you have that suspension stroke of movement every pump, and if you're really putting effort in, I'd imagine there's like energy wasted in compressing the shocks and everything into that too.
Because like your bike probably has suspension lockouts.
Yeah, it has the new flight attendant electronic suspension on it.
Yeah,
hold up.
This is a crazy technology. My brother was explaining this to me.
Yeah, no, I like just hanging out with you and your brother and like seeing some of the wild bikes you guys have gotten. And like,
this is next level.
So this electronic bicycle here.
Yeah, literally electronic. Like the only cables on it are the brake cables.
Okay.
Electronic dropper, electronic shifting, and now electronic.
Oh wow!
Suspension.
That's crazy.
So for you to understand this electronic suspension, it tracks how you're riding and it knows when to lock out the suspension. So it's doing this automatically based on.
Yeah, it's the gnarliest thing ever. It connects to your power meter, and then as you ride and put down certain power numbers, it's always making sure you have like traction to the rear tire when you're climbing, so it will like soften or stiffen it, and then it like prioritizes efficiency over like a certain amount of watts, and it's locked out, and you can like manually override it to like unlock it or lock it. But like if I'm pedaling on the trail, that thing's automatically like learning me as I'm riding to like
Yeah.
make sure my bike's dialed up the trail. So it won't be like wide open or fully locked. It'll be like the perfect balance.
Basically an AI bike.
It's an AI bike.
There was one clip I watched where there was a drone following you, and it looked like you were in Arizona. You were going up like a little ridge, like you were climbing.
Oh yeah, that was out Mount Lemon.
Yeah. So, was that on the electronic bike and everything with that gearbox?
I don't think I had the electronic suspension on it yet. I was still running the stock Fox suspension, and it had lockout still. It just was a button.
Okay.
But you could only unlock it or lock it. There was
Okay.
no like in between.
Yeah, right.
Because as you're explaining this to me, that video popped in my head because I could imagine how much easier, especially in that gravel, that soft, desert environment, how having something that's monitoring your traction for you at all times would be that much more beneficial.
It's the gnarliest system. I've had it for a couple months now, and I still am learning new things about it.
So in terms of competition, is that something that's like monitored? Because like, what if one guy can get a bike that's got it and one guy can't? Like, do you think it offers that much more of a easier riding experience, or do you think it's kind of just like if you put the work in, results kind of similar?
I don't know. I definitely like get beat by guys who don't have it.
Yeah.
But I just think it takes like now when I'm racing, I don't have
to think about it.
I don't have to think about it. Like I don't have to think about, okay, am I going to lock out here or not? I can just let my bike work, and I can think about other things like
line choice.
Line choice.
Okay.
When am I going to pass this guy? But I definitely like get beat by people who don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in anything there'll be those people that no matter what they got, no matter what they don't have, they're gonna make it happen too. So
right.
But yeah, okay, that's wicked cool. I had no idea bike tech was you hear about the e-bikes, and like I've ridden, like your brother used to have like a big green e-bike, and I took it around the neighborhood.
I just got one. We just rode today.
And like he was like, take this thing for a ride, it's gonna blow your mind. He's like, but be careful because you'll go really fast on it. And like I took it around the block, and I was like pumped for like 3 seconds, and I was doing like probably like 45 like I was doing like 40 miles an hour.
Probably like 20.
No, it was like 30 at least.
They can't really go that fast.
Listen, I have a really bad
probably
judge.
felt like that.
No, it did,
because you're just going 20 miles an hour on a bicycle.
Yeah, I pumped for like 3 seconds, and I was like, wait, what the hell? Like there's no effort in the pedal either. So like I kind of get like that bike technology is like going pretty crazy.
Next thing there's going to be like electronic brakes.
Yeah, I've seen concepts of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, if you think about it,
they already have electronic shifting, electronic droppers.
So the electronic shifting, mountain bike, you like twist the thing on the twist the thing, and like the cable, and it clunks and it bangs into gear or whatever. Like, so how the electronic shifting, is it the same kind of like twisting and it just seamlessly shifts?
It's like a pod. It has like a top button and a down button, and you just click it, and it's like instant, just does it. But it's so much more efficient. Like on old bikes, if you like bend your derailleur, you got to like shove a screwdriver in there, hit the B screw or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, like every day, or I would say like probably every 10 rides, I'm fine tuning my derailleur in with the cable.
Yeah, see, you don't have like electronic. It just micro adjusts. You can just do it on the fly, or you can whip out your phone, connect it, and just tap it. It's so much faster and more efficient.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool.
And you can't break them off. Like the hanger is built into the frame now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you snap that off, you're doing something gnarly.
Yeah, like you're going down and probably hurt yourself.
Bad.
Damn, that's super cool. So does this stuff add a lot of weight to the overall bike, like versus like analog?
The new Shimano XTR cable derailleur, I'm pretty sure it's the lightest, but I'm like okay with a couple extra grams to have just like a more efficient bike.
Okay, yeah, that definitely that sounds like, when you speak like hiking, you have like a hyper light, like ultralight hikers and stuff, and they'll talk in like grams and like ounces and stuff of weight. So okay, that makes sense.
Like I run cush core in my bike, and like a lot of guys wouldn't do that because of the weight. But
I'm surprised you do.
I run the XC cush core. I just think about it like I'll suffer with the couple 100 grams, so I don't like blow a wheel up.
What is cush core?
It's just like an insert that goes inside your tire to protect your wheel.
Oh,
it's like a foam insert.
A lot of
the inner part of your rim.
do it.
Do you still run that in with a tube, or is that in
tubeless?
Tubeless.
So tubeless. Okay, so that's in substitution of the tube.
I think there's a lot of gains to run it though. Like you can run lower pressure. You have a little bit more sidewall stability. And like I got a flat at the first race day in Belltown, and I just rode my bike to the finish line anyways with that, just rolling on the cush core because it's fine.
Yeah, so it
not gonna
sounds
break a wheel.
So it sounds like it kind of the Cush core is worth, like you said, a couple hundred extra grams.
Yeah. Well, because in Arkansas, I blew my wheel up. I didn't have Cush core, and I cracked my wheel in half.
And you were done.
Yeah,
I guess for XC, because your parts are so light to begin with, they're kind of brittle.
Yeah, they are so fragile.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. So you're getting more like reliability out of everything, because like you said, it's a 4-hour race. I'd imagine there's not really room for pit time and like having somebody work on your bike or anything
Especially
like that.
if you're a couple miles from the pits.
Yeah.
You get a flat, you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
But at least with Cush core, you kind of have, a little hope.
Little hope to get back.
I could definitely see why that makes the payoff. Like, a little bit of insurance to make it through the day no matter what happens.
It's so like technical though. Like for this race I'll do for Whiteface, because it's a lot of road, I'm gonna get like I'm gonna be a weight weenie, and I'm gonna pull the Cush core out.
Yeah.
It's like 55 miles of road, only like a little bit of trail.
Okay.
Oh wow.
In the trail last year, there wasn't anything gnarly where I'm worrying about a wheel blowing up.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna be like a weight weenie.
So I guess that brings up another question for me, is like what goes into scouting the race you're doing? Like what goes into preparing for a different environment that you're going to be riding in? Like, do you do track walks? Do you ride there the week before, or is it just kind of like cold feet going off of knowledge?
It depends on the race. Like for the race day series, Saturdays are open practice.
Okay.
So I'll go ride the course with some friends, do the Alias group ride, see what the course is about. But like for these bigger races, I was lucky that John already raced Whiteface. So last year he like told me about it.
Okay.
And then obviously I did it, so I know what to expect this year. But like if I didn't know John, I would have just probably went into it blind.
Okay.
Especially for those like big races.
Okay.
But at the same time, like I raced Green Mountain Stage Race, which is a big road race last year, and I went up and pre-rode the course. So I guess it like depends. For me, it depends if it's like an A race or not.
Okay.
If it's not an A race, I'm not gonna say I don't care, but I'm more apt to go in at blind.
Yeah.
Where if it's like race day or a big road race, I want to make sure I know the course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is race day John's series that he started?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of thought that it would make sense that it's race day, John Day.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what.
No, he started it. He was right. New England like needed something for the cross country mountain bike scene, and we didn't have like a series. We have like a couple like one-off races.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm going to do that."
And it makes so much sense too. Like New England just has so much of like that good environment for it, like really nice roads in so many different areas for like the road aspect, but then also like a lot of like that, it's good dirt pack. And
yeah, we have
like
so many like great venues and great trail systems here that I think like, why not do a series here?
Yeah, and it's that, man, I just want to say, like, that guy knows what he's doing. That guy has like a good sixth sense for like when something's a good idea in terms of like a series to start like that, because J-Day was a different concept when he started it, and look what it turned into. And now this race day thing seems like it's kind of blowing up and also gaining traction, and also like maybe I think it's going to grow, and it's going to let other riders, maybe some downhill guys in the New England area, some road guys in the New England area that may not think of one or the other, but it's like a good blend. And if it becomes more widely available, it's just like another series he's going to grow and nurture.
I think it'll
For sure
expose some raw New England talent. Like I feel like New England's kind of almost forgotten about sometimes. Like this series and how well John does at promoting it, I think it will expose some New England talent for sure.
Hey, that was like a big part of us starting this podcast, is like there's so many good like high-end local talent in the New England area that like doesn't always get a lot of exposure, or like doesn't have like an avenue to like get a little spotlight and like give people like the chance to like sit down and talk about it. So like exactly why we're doing this too. Like this, like I feel like New England's got so much to show, and some of the most talented people, I think, in whatever avenue they're in.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
I think the New England mentality, it gives you like an extra edge, chip on the shoulder, like, the shitty weather, and all that stuff. It's like, we're used to like powering through stuff. So it's like, if you can do your thing in New England, if you can cross country bike a majority of the year in New England, then if you go down somewhere where like the weather's a little bit nicer and it's like you can train year round all the time, then it's like going to Arizona, I'm sure, is a lot easier easier to get some training in Arizona than it is up here.
Yeah, I mean, walk us through, because you basically dropped out of school and then the whole winter we're on like this crazy road trip training. You went to Florida and then to Arizona, Utah, and
first.
then to Arkansas. Yeah, walk us through this
All
trip.
right.
This was
This was like so John was like, if you're gonna be done with school, like let's do it right and
Okay.
go all in. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go all in. I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
I knew Tucson, you had to go to Tucson to train. That's like where everyone goes. So I wanted to immerse myself right in there.
Especially connect with people, and
that's like another
networking
thing, like networking connections. So John was like, oh, do you want to do this race in Florida with me? And I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do that. So I went to right after Christmas. I went to Florida with John. What how did it work?
But like you drove down,
yeah, so
like last minute or something.
No, this was the gnarliest experience ever. So I was at my buddy Eric's house in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then I drive to John's house, and we're leaving the next day on a plane in the morning to fly to Florida, and we're in John's garage, and we have my bike taken apart, and I'm like, John, it won't fit in the bike bag, and he's like, oh, I'll come out after dinner and look at it, and I'm like, I'm telling you, it won't fit. The handlebars like had this weird one-piece stem.
Oh yeah, because the Cannondales have that.
Yeah, like all the cables will run through the front of the handlebars. Okay. And this was before I had like that electronic suspension. So I had like 50 cables off the front. And John's like, we're like looking at it. He scratches his head. Brother. I'm like, what? He's like, you're driving to Florida or you're not going. Or he was like, you can take my old bike. And I was like, no, like I'm dialed on this bike. I want to just ride my bike so I can do the best. Like I want the only excuse to be I didn't have the legs.
Yeah.
So it's 9:00 at night, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm flying to Florida in the morning. Let me know what you're doing." So I sleep on his couch. I get up at 2 a.m. and I drive to Florida. I drive straight through 20 hours straight. I get there at like 11:30 at night. Totally like not ideal.
He drove alone.
Alone.
Yeah.
By myself.
Straight to Florida.
Like no rest.
Oh,
6 or 7 coffees. I get there. We train. We race. And then I drive all the way back home. I get home on like a Friday.
Oh, you drove back?
I
thought you went straight from Florida to
I should have. So I should have done that. I should have done that. I should have just like taken everything with me. But I thought I was flying.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, it'll be fine. I drive back. I get home on like a Friday. I left at 3 a.m. again. Did it in one shot. Tuesday, like 4-day turnaround time. I call up Cole Beach, who I stayed with, and I'm like, hey, I'm coming to you in Utah now. He's like, oh, you just got back from Florida. I'm like, I'm just driving out. So I drove 2 days, stopped one time. I was doing like 20-hour days by myself in the car.
Dude.
I get to his house. I stay with him for a month at altitude, which was sick. We trained together. And then we drove to Tucson. We had like a team media day, and Eric flew out. And then we stayed in Arizona together. And then randomly, a day before the first U.S. Pro Cup in Temecula, California, at like 2 p.m, I was like, I'm going to drive to California. So I drive 8 hours to California, race by myself, and then drive 20 hours to Arkansas.
And then just so happened the same week we were in Arkansas. He was there.
I remember you saying this. I remember you telling me that
we went to Arkansas. I just looked at his story and he's in Bentonville. And I was just like, what?
Yeah, I got there.
Weren't you just across the country?
Yeah. I got there a week before my race and I like stayed. I did the gnarliest experience with an Airbnb ever. I did a rent-a-room from somebody.
Oh, I've seen these.
I was like so nervous, but I couldn't pass it up for like a week. It was super cheap. I don't know, $300 for the week or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like in her house upstairs in her room. And I was like, oh, this is going to be gnarly, but I'll just send it. It's only a week. And then we had an Airbnb rented out for the rest of the month or a couple weeks. So I stay with her. And then Justin posts, I saw your story. So I was like, oh, I'm here too. So we linked up.
Yeah, because we were talking when I was in Knoxville. And you were
Tennessee.
like, oh, where are you? And I was like, yeah, I'm in Tennessee. And then I didn't even say I was going to Bentonville.
Yeah, I think you posted or something. I said, I'm here too. Whatever. We like linked up for a couple days.
Yeah.
Got dinner, rode. And then I had the gnarliest crash of my life. And my friend Lucas was out there on spring break. And he had to drive me home. And my stepdad drove my car home. So I was like sitting in the car. I couldn't move. I had the worst road rash on my arms, on my back.
How did the wreck go? How did that happen? What happened?
literally the race started and it's like a mass start.
Mm-hmm.
No joke. 10 seconds into the race, a kid locked bars with me.
Oh, okay.
We crashed on blacktop.
Okay.
And it was the gnarliest thing ever.
That's okay. That sucks.
That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Those mass starts, whether it's a motocross, or a bike start, or when they have the pump track bike races and they drop the gate down the downhill. It's like, I feel like if
it's just the start.
Yeah.
Any whatever you do, it's the start of whatever it is.
You need like half of it's just making it out and getting into the pack and just getting your mentals and being like, all right, I made it out of the start. Where do I go from here?
Yeah.
It was the gnarliest experience. We get back, I take a full week off, and then my buddy Chris was like, hey, do you want to go to Pennsylvania to race? I was so nervous to do a start when they blew the whistle to go. I let everyone go in front of me, and I went last into the woods.
You know what, man? Whatever it takes. I don't blame you if you after getting road rash.
Are you over that fear now, or?
Yeah. So I ended up winning that race. I just slowly picked my way through the pack.
That's badass.
And I won, and then
just nonchalantly, purposely started last and won.
Picked off everybody.
That's insane.
Did you think you had a chance to win it?
No. No. It was like the gnarliest course ever. And I'm not the super best at pedaling through the rocky and rooty stuff. If it's just straight downhill, I can do it, but pedaling through it's tough. It was raining, and I was I come through 2 laps ago. I'm 45 seconds off the leader. I'm oh, I'll just settle for 6th place or whatever. And then I just put my head down, locked in. Last lap, I'm the leaders are right there. I'm what? So I just dialed in, just put the head down and just ripped to them.
Yeah.
The last field, I caught them and I got on their wheel. I took my bottle, and then there was a hill, and I could tell they were smoked, and either they were smoked or I was getting stronger as the race went on. I just launched a big attack up the hill, looked back and saw no one came with me.
That's so cool.
And just went for it.
That's awesome.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, so it almost sounds like the energy conservation in the beginning, just by happenstance. You weren't even trying to do it, but it's almost like you weren't, you saved it a little bit to let everyone out in front of you, and then it's by the time you weren't trying to, you weren't making moves or making decisions I need to do this to get this gap closed. You kind of just ran up on them, and you had that extra juice.
Yeah, I just I was I'll just try to survive. It wasn't a race that was good. I was pouring rain. I didn't want to crash, so I was I'll just finish the race and be happy. I last lap saw the leaders and was oh, I'm locking in on this.
That's awesome.
So I just was ripping my legs off on the climbs.
That must have been a really nice confidence boost.
Yeah, it was good. And then I went into the first race day, and I went the exact opposite. I was nervous to crash again, so I ripped the whole shot. I was out front by 10 bike lengths. I blew up right away. I raced, and then I got a flat tire. It is what it is.
Yeah, you can't control everything. Nothing's going to be perfect. You can't control everything.
And then I drove to Wisconsin to race again, and it was hard. It was a UCI race for UCI points, U23 field. So they're savage kids. I had a good start, did my best. Those races, my goal is just to pass people and finish. And it was my first time racing a UCI race and not getting pulled. So that was pretty big step for me too.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
UCI is the world.
That's the world. Yeah.
Okay, so UCI
World Cup. I don't know what World Cup XC racing.
Yeah, it's the Pro Cup series, which is a continental national series. But if you're getting UCI points, eventually you're going to be racing in the World Cups. The World Cups is I think about it that's
this is as high as you can go.
That's as high as you can go. You're racing the 450.
So you're already dipping your toes into that UCI.
I'm trying to this year was that's why I raced in Arkansas and California, just to get experience, go to the big events, and it's to get the nerves out. You show up, you see all the factory dudes, Chris Blevins, you see all those people there. Mm-hmm. So then it's when it matters next year, and I'm going there to try to do a top 10. It's okay, I already raced here one time. I already know what to expect.
They got an Alias 10 for you or what? Not yet?
Not yet. At the small races,
So that's your main sponsor, right?
Alias, yeah. Alias, my shop, Berkshire Outfitters, helps me out a ton. And then I got connected with Cannondale and got a sick deal through them. So, and then they ended up helping the team out. So it's Alias and Cannondale are big shots.
Sweet.
So a little bit about Alias, what's the deal with them? What do they do?
So gnarly how I got connected with them. I remember it's always John Day. I was like, John, I need cycling clothes. And he was like, oh, Alias is a moto company. And of course, I heard of Alias, like Geico Honda back in 2013.
Yeah, I feel like Alias kind of peaked and then it came down and now it's like big again.
Yeah, like I think when Geico Honda went, like when they closed their doors, I think Alias like went down.
Yeah.
But now they're like coming back up. Thanks to Eric for that. But I was like, oh, John was like, message Eric Grundle. And I was like, okay, I'll like hit him up. And then he was like, yeah, I can get you, like, give me your race resume and what you plan to do, and we can get like a deal worked out or whatever. Cool. And then he was like, oh, I just released new gear. What are you doing on like a Thursday? Can you take some pictures? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll drive up, take some pictures. It clicked pretty well. And then he was like, a week later, hey, do you want to come to my house and do like a big 100-mile ride? I was like, yeah, I'll do whatever. I don't care. And then we just clicked. I ended up going to like Florida with them. We went to Vegas for the Super Motocross World Championships. Just like got a like sick relationship out of that.
Getting to know each other.
Yeah, and he's one of my good friends now, so it like worked out well.
Yeah, I mean, like minds attract, so it's like he probably realized like you were a good benefit to what he was doing, and he could be a good benefit to what you were trying to do and accomplish, and it kind of just sounds like a really good, relationship.
Yeah, we just have like a good relationship now. I'm headed to his house after this.
Oh, awesome.
I'm gonna spend the week up there and train with him.
Oh, nice. Where's he up training?
He lives in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, nice. So okay.
Yeah. So you came down and back up.
Oh, I came from my house. Talk about my driving schedule.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, like when you were talking about like driving everywhere, which way and everything, you're doing it all solo.
Oh, all solo.
And like, because when we drove out to Wisconsin, like we were like a few of us were 2-man in it, towing the cars out there.
Oh yeah.
And like even then, like going through Ohio, Pennsylvania, once you're like 5, 6, 7 hours in, and you're like going through the middle of the night, dude. Like, dude, I was struggling.
I went with my girl, and she didn't drive, but yeah. So I drove myself all the way to Wisconsin, dude, and I was like, I had to stop. I was like, I can't do this.
Oh,
it's different towing a car too.
Yeah,
the truck is swaying,
and you're constantly kind of like. I feel like when you're towing the truck, you're towing the car. You kind of almost like keep the arms a little bit more stiff and like stable. Yeah. But like I'm hearing you doing all this, and like
you probably got the GTI on like 85 cruising just
through Nebraska. I think it was Nebraska. It was like straight for like 100 miles. It was so straight that I was like losing focus on the road.
You start to get hypnotized. I swear.
I had to like look around. Yeah. I had my windshield wipers on and it was sunny just to like try to get my eyeballs.
Yo, that's bad.
Just man. The windshield wipers in the desert just to feel something.
Yeah, no, for real. That's crazy.
I was so bored. If my mom watches this, she won't appreciate it. I was so bored. I had Netflix on.
Dude, don't even feel bad, bro. Fucking a couple of our boys when we're towing, they'll straight up throw it up on the cluster.
So I did that, and then I like looked, and I'm like, oh, I have a roof rack where my bike goes on my roof. And I was like, oh, the Thule roof rack. It says don't go over 70. I'm like, oh, let's see what I can do. So I went 115 just to see if the bikes would get ripped off the roof.
Oh my goodness!
Every now and then would like look, and they'd be like swaying wicked bad.
Holy
I'm like,
crap!
I better slow down.
Dude, this is awesome, man. Honestly, like, good for you. You're doing it. You're young. You're getting after it, and honestly, like just the adventuring, just the driving out, seeing the country, like driving through. I always tell people like one of the coolest things, and I think one of like the big life changing, like kind of like perspective changing things growing up was like at 8 and 9 years old. My family was like, hey, you're not going to have a summer vacation. We're going cross country, like in the camper. We're going to go see every national park. Like, we're going to show you the country. Like, you're not going to hang out with your friends, play video games, and like do whatever. And like as a kid, like you're stuck in a camper, but it's like every day, just like seeing the country for what it is and like traveling through it and driving through it and seeing it all. I say like that's one of the best things I think you could do if you live in,
I agree. I think traveling is such an eye-opening experience.
And it's like wicked cool when you get to travel with a purpose like you're doing. And
yeah, I'm definitely like very fortunate I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, my mom totally like stepped in to help me on that, but it almost like solidified like, I want to do this. Like, I like that lifestyle. I want to travel.
And you just did all this last winter?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So you're really only like hardcore 110%. Like you've been all in for like what, like this training, the Arizona deal for like a year, 2 years?
I've been like, so I did my first bike race at the end of 2023, and then 2024 I got slowly more involved, but it wasn't really until yeah, I guess going all in this winter, like really solidified it. Like, yeah, I'm all in. Like, I'm committed.
And you're already hitting the UCIs a
yeah,
little
I'm
bit.
trying to get experience there, hit the UCI races, do the best I can. I don't want to rush the process.
Yeah.
I just want to go through the process, enjoy it.
It doesn't strike me like you're rushing the process at all. I think you're letting the process come to you.
Yeah.
And I think you're just taking things as they naturally come. Mm-hmm. And it definitely seems like you're like the perfect little blend you got going on here.
I don't ever want to say no to an opportunity.
Yeah, no, and I definitely, think that that's like a good lesson across the board in general in life is like always keep an open mind. Mm-hmm. Like don't try to limit yourself on too many things. Like I've played it safe for certain things, and it's like definitely closed doors for me. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's one thing I always say to people: like keep an open mind, keep the doors open, because you never know what saying yes to something will lead to. You know what saying no to something will do.
Oh yeah,
like you always know what no does. But if you say yes, it often leads to other things. And
mm-hmm. Well, just like when Eric was like, "Hey, do you want to go up to Maine, to Portland, to take pictures at his studio?" If I said no to that, I don't know if I would have the alias thing I have, or mm-hmm. even be on like good terms with him. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm glad that I said yes. It helped me with the alias thing. I also developed I made a new friend that I have now.
Absolutely.
And maybe I wouldn't be friends with him.
Yeah.
We would just be like acquaintances or like business partners.
Yeah.
And I don't want that with him.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I derailed that with a tangent there. I can't remember what we were originally talking about on topic there.
I got a few questions if you want.
Yeah, definitely bang some questions going.
So
sure.
Besides on bike training, what are you doing off the bike?
Oh man. So once I decided to get serious about biking, I wanted to go all in. I sold my skis, sold a lot of stuff, but off the bike, I've kind of relaxed a little bit now. I'm going to get back into skiing this winter. I love dirt bikes. So watching dirt bikes, that kind of stuff.
But are you in the gym on a
weekly basis? My training is a bit weird. No, I'm not in the gym. I will go to the gym, but John and I don't put it in my training plan because I did body weight. Gymnastics is all body weight training.
Calisthenics type shit.
I did that for 16 or 15 years of my life. That's more than most people do. So I have all my body weight strength. I need to convert it to cycling strength. But I do I'm more into the stability exercises and the yoga right now.
Okay.
To prove that, but overall strength, I've kind of I'm not going to ever say I don't need to do it again, but right now I think there's more low hanging fruit to pick from.
Yes.
Than to go to the gym and work out. I need to stability exercises to keep those muscles up. Mm-hmm. And I just overall cycling such a volume induced sport. I just need to throw lots of volume at it right now because I'm behind in the year. Eric Harrington, one of my teammates, he's 17, way stronger than me on a bike, but he has 8 years of pedaling onto his legs.
Yeah.
So
you're kind of playing catch up in that sense.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to throw a lot of volume at it right now.
Yeah, because circling back to the beginning of the conversation, talking about the gymnastics deal, once you said the gymnastics thing, I was well, it makes so much sense that you're in such a good peak physical form for this because, like I said, that pliability, that movement, that range of motion that you already have, that's so broad. Now you're really going into a fine-tuned, focused ordeal.
Yes. I didn't just jump on a bike and have some weird gift where I was able to be strong. It definitely came from gymnastics.
Okay, now we're back. All right, we had to take our whatever X amount, 45 to 1 hour, minute long,
I just want to share. There was a part in Florida. I just driving to Florida, turned my phone off, turned the music off, and just drove absolute raw dog, just looking out the window.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted when you were talking about 20 hours here, 16 hours here, Wisconsin, where all these places you're driving. My number one question, because you're doing it by yourself. I was going to ask, what do? Are you a podcast guy? Are you an audiobook guy? Are you a music guy? So,
you got to be able to dip your toes in all of those if you're doing this.
Yeah, So
got to get creative.
8 hours just out the windshield, nothing.
It was just under 8 hours, 6 hours or something. I just remember it said stay straight for 700 miles, and I was I'm bored of music. I'm bored of podcasts. Netflix is. I was bored of everything. I was like, I'm just gonna.
It's because you didn't know what the LifeCall podcast was.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's
That's true.
Could have been like, yo, let's hear these guys jibber jabber for a little bit and sound like idiots.
I literally just locked in. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stare out the window.
I'm just gonna drive.
Who
would have thought?
I'm just gonna do what they did like 100 and something years ago when they just had a horse and buggy and like they couldn't bring a freaking recorder with you or nothing like that. Like that's wild.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I have a Golf, I have a GTI. Let me remind myself like why I wanted this car. Put in sport mode. Like, step on it. It's not like 300 horsepower. It's like, I don't know, 250 horsepower. It's like just enough where you can have fun. Like,
just enough to feel it.
Yeah. But like, I'm not gonna like.
Is it stick?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Speed. Of course. Beautiful.
It's sweet.
Beautiful.
It's a good car.
Downshift. Go up to 90.
Yeah.
Cut in between some cars.
Yeah.
Nope. Too dangerous. Slow down.
With the bikes on top.
With the bikes on top.
Yeah.
Just like swaying side to side.
No, it's like I feel like no matter how you probably got some good bike holding equipment on that car.
Yeah, just like the Thule. Like I swear by that setup, the Thule roof rack.
I feel like I do. My girl and I do a lot of like traveling and a lot of like going up to New Hampshire and whatnot. We just went to New York City yesterday on a day trip driving there, and it's like I spend a lot of time on the road and then like I spend a lot of the time traveling to like high traffic areas where people travel, and it's like so I've seen so many different setups of like bikes, kayaks, and it's like, dude, you just see some of the setups some people have, and you're like, dude, I would not have left the house.
Yeah, I've seen some gnarly
like I've seen some like family. So like, you know, you got the Honda Odyssey with like 4 kids and 2 parents in the front, and they got two adult bikes and 4 kids bikes, and they got the bike rack on the back, and the things like the bike rack's like bouncing on the back with the arm. And Steph and I'm like, hey, yo, I'm gonna pass this guy because I feel like these bikes are like about to like they're one good bridge joint away from bouncing and scraping the freaking ground.
Sleepy's rack because it's made.
Why is Sleepy shit always sketchy?
It's actually a nice rack, but it's just aluminum, so it has a lot of flex to it.
Oh, yeah.
So we have like 4 bikes on the back, and the thing's like bouncing. And the first time we took it on like a trip up to Vermont, and I was like just nervous the whole time. Like we're leaving the bikes on 81.
It's like whenever like I went kayaking with Brian this week, and we were like throwing the kayaks in, and like Steph wanted to come, so I was like, yo, Brian, you think we could throw another kayak in the back? And he's like, yeah, we got it. And like we throw another kayak in, and I'm like, you want to use a ratchet strap? No, they'll be fine. And it's like, yeah, we're only going 7 miles down the road, but I literally was like, hey, Steph, you're in the back seat, you're on kayak duty, like watch them things. Like, because I don't know, like I like being legit. And like if I'm moving in a car, I know at 40 miles an hour, if my bike, my kayak, or whatever it may be, just like decides to take a trip, then like you're probably gonna be looking for a new one after that.
Yeah, people probably say the same about me when I'm ripping down the highway and the bikes are swaying.
One of the boys laid a heater.
Yeah. Pause.
All right,
we're so back.
Sorry about that.
We're back again. One of the assistant production managers just had to interrupt. All right. So we're talking just like the beauties of
roof racks or bike racks
of traveling and the legitimacy of whatnot setups and everything like that, and sketchiness and everything. So, you got a legit setup on the top of the GTI. You put it through the pit. You've tested it. You feel good about it. I just had to derail real quick and talk about all the sketchy bike setup I've seen and like stuff driving all these places.
Where we ended off on.
Yeah, so because like I don't know, I feel like if you got 4, 5, 6 bikes on the back, like I like to think of the other people around me on the road, and it's like, yo, what would happen if I lost this bike rack right now? I really think about it. Like if you're on a 3-lane highway and you lose a bike rack, people like.
Fair.
I drove to New York City yesterday, and we're like we were just right when we hit the Bronx, and we were about to hit the big bridge. I don't know what the name of the big bridge is.
Is it the George Washington?
No, I don't know. It might be. I don't know. One of the million bridges, I think. But like, there was a school bus in front of us, like a mile on the road in front of us. And dude, like out of nowhere, I see him like go over 4 lanes to like from the left side of the highway to the right side, and then he pulls up like on like a little grass median off the right side. And Steph and I are in the left lane, and like I pass a set of dually wheels on the left side of the highway, and I say to Steph, I was like, "Yo, are those the wheels to that bus?" And then we passed the bus, and the bus has got no wheels on the left side, and the whole left side of the school bus is like can opener, and there's kids on the bus.
And it was just driving.
Yeah, so like I watched the bus out of nowhere like move over, and then I was like, oh well, that was weird. Like, wonder what happened. And then I passed the wheels came off the school bus.
What the fuck?
That's
crazy.
Yeah, and I literally said to Steph, I was like, only driving into New York City would like there be a POS school bus that is so POS it loses the whole left hub.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, that was just on my mind. So like I was just thinking about that. And when you were talking about ripping it at like 110 or whatever with the freaking bike rack and ripping, I'm like, oh, that bike rack must be solid.
It's solid.
So, but so to circle back, podcast, music, you do it all.
I have to do it all on the long ones, but yeah, I had to also try to get locked in with no music or anything.
What's you got any like like I love like, so at my job I can kind of like just like dial in and listen to stuff when I'm working sometimes if I don't have to work with people, like, so I got like I'm like a diehard on like a couple different podcasts. You diehard on any kind of music or any podcast in particular or anything like that?
I like to pick through the Joe Rogan one.
Okay.
Pick out like specific people.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
And then Theo Von's podcast.
Yeah,
I love Theo Von.
Yeah, Theo Von's a really good one. I like his because it kind of like, it's such like a nonchalant vibe that when he does have somebody that's like a little bit more serious on, or even like not, it just kind of like turns into a very casual conversation that you almost feel like you're just hanging out with them when you're listening to it.
Yeah, even if it's like a high end, like when he had Trump on, it was just like chill. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's Trump and you're Theo Von. You're
like, I like the and I do the same thing that you do with the Joe Rogans, because like when you have somebody on for like a solid 2-3 hours or whatever it is, like they're gonna cover so much stuff, and I really like love it for like the little nuggets you'll get on like with people like, I don't know if you know who Andrew Huberman is.
Oh
like,
I love Andrew Huberman.
Like his episodes are my favorite, and like him going on the Joe Rogan actually opened me up to listen to the Huberman podcast itself. And like there's a lot of things that like he's talked about in his podcast or like on the Joe Rogan that like I've tried, like little like hacks for like, health and wellness and everything like that, and like they worked. Like the number one thing I say to people that like, because like at work, like I'll see all my coworkers with their coffee cups or their Monster first thing in the morning, and then like they notice, they're like, yo, we start our work day at 6:30, and at 9 a.m. after our first break, like I'll crack my energy drink. They're like, how come you always have your caffeine after 9 o'clock? And I was like, well, and I tell them like Andrew Huberman, he brought up like the science and like the processing of caffeine and the receptors in your brain that actually like address fatigue and everything and how it works. And it's like, if your brain will naturally build those up and then it dissipates those receptors. And if you have caffeine after that, you don't get the crash. And I always battled with caffeine crash. And ever since I started taking that tip from that, like I don't ever have caffeine crash anymore. So I was that's always like a cool little thing. Like cool. I always tell people like podcasts aren't just entertainment. If you do the right stuff and you look at the right things and like you vet it, you can actually like take away a lot of good stuff.
Like a free source of information.
That's like for me, like I really try to listen to podcasts for education purposes.
Yeah, like
some for enjoyment, but yeah,
it's like
education.
It's in overall, it's like an expanding of like my mindset and expanding of like my knowledge. Like I'm not trying to just like live in an echo chamber and just kind of like listen to the same kind of thing over and over again. I mean, sometimes I like to like delve into like those topics that never get old, but like those don't really count. But you got some other questions for the man?
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull them up quick. Oh
boy.
Training, recovery, and diet. I want to hit on that.
Oh,
so you definitely, obviously, you have your Alias water bottle, just drinking water. So what's your diet like? Any specialties or any restrictions?
No specialties or restrictions. I kind of just like, I'm smart. I'm strict on myself about what I eat, but I'm not afraid to eat a brownie. Like, my biggest thing is I want to have a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
So like right now I'm trying to get as fit as I can for mountain bike nationals. So I'm strict on myself. Like, no, if I go out and get ice cream, no, it's not going to kill me, but I don't need it right now.
Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff. But I don't want to be so strict that when I am allowed to like chill out a little bit and eat some sweets and desserts, that I just don't eat tons of it because like I'm having like a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
So like I want to like have a healthy relationship with food. I just focus on eating my carbs, my healthy carbs, my proteins, doing recovery shakes after every ride. Like I just want to stay like up to date on that. I don't want to I guess it just comes down to like having a healthy relationship with food, really.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm not supposed to eat.
Yep.
Don't eat candy. Don't eat the sweets. Like, you don't need that stuff. So if you can just say no, you're already one step ahead.
Yeah.
Like, eat your vegetables, eat your fruit. Like, don't cheat on anything. Just like, and eat. Like, if I'm doing a hard day, I'm going to eat for it the day before. And like the biggest thing is eating so that when you're done with your ride, you're not like overeating, like fueling during your ride too. Because like I did a 5-hour ride yesterday and I fueled perfectly through it. So when I got home, I wasn't just like opening the cabinets and shoving everything down my throat. I've been there before and it's gnarly.
Yeah, I've definitely like I've done some of those days where it's like I'll run after work and like I may have skipped lunch at work, and then you do like, you know, say I did like a 4 or 5 mile run and then like drilled some sprints on the track after, and it's like after I get out, I'm like grocery store right from like the track to the grocery store, and then I'm just like I can do whatever I want because I just did XYZ. But then it's like you talk about, like you feel it, like you do that, and then it's like, oh, did I just undo the progress I made?
Yeah, I just try to like watch what I eat. Like everybody knows, don't eat ice cream every day. Don't eat gummy bear. Like just don't eat the garbage stuff all the time. And I don't know how to.
There's a time and place.
I think
a good way to describe that is that there's foods that will actually put you at a deficit and harm your progress versus foods that'll just kind of like be a benefit to it. It's like, don't eat the things that are an X. Don't eat the things that are like blatantly going to be a negative on your fitness.
Yeah.
And like keep them as a treat once every.
Yeah, but don't be afraid to eat like a brownie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like when people are like, oh, I'm just like, no cookies, no. It's like, why though? Like everything in my, like, it won't kill you.
Like if you're on some Tom Brady avocado ice cream type shit.
That's gnarly.
Like
he's
that
different.
Kind of,
he's on a different level.
Yeah, like that kind of. Maybe if you're like 45 and still XCing, you know, maybe then you'll be having the avocado ice cream. That's like another thing
too. Like I'm 21, my metabolism's gonna take care of like most things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And yeah, that's such a good point though about like the age thing. It's like, you know, the body changes and you just got to do what's good for you in terms of like diet and everything like that in general.
Like I could probably, and this is not for everyone, I could probably get away with eating whatever I want and still perform, but like at the same time I still care about like my long-term health.
Yeah.
So I like don't do that for that reason.
So just keeping it smart, keeping everything in moderation.
Everybody knows like what's good and bad for you.
Yeah. But like you're not counting macros super hardcore.
No. I am on my like I'm counting like carbs like super specific when I'm riding.
Yeah, no, that
like
makes sense.
120 grams an hour.
You got to do what you got to do to maintain the level you're doing. So it's like you do have to get at least. I feel like it's not even like hitting that exact number, but it's like you need to have a bare minimum, and like you need to keep up that bare minimum of like when you're doing that kind of activity.
Oh, for sure. But I'm definitely not gonna like sit here and I count my calories. And do that. I don't do any of
that. Okay, so not super strict on it, but
not super strict. I just like I said, I just stay away from the stuff you shouldn't eat right now.
Yeah. Simple diet.
Once Nationals is done, I'm going to smash some ice cream and cookies.
Hell yeah.
Gotta do it. Reward yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Another question I had was all right, I'll just read the question. That might be easier. What are some good tips for someone looking to get serious with road or XC biking? Because you just went through it yourself. So what are some takeaways? Like, what are some key takeaways that you've had throughout your journey so far?
That's an interesting question. That's a good one, though.
I mean, it could be like a mindset, dedication thing, networking.
It almost sounds counterintuitive, but don't take it too serious. Like, even though I'm doing it at such a serious level, I don't let it, like I try to make it a point not to consume my life. I think starting small, trying not to like compare yourself, like you don't want to compare yourself to just like you're your own path. Like you don't want to, oh, well, so-and-so started 2 months ago and has a fitness level of here. Like everyone starts at their own spot. Like, so don't get lost in the numbers and enjoy the process. Start small and like build to it. You don't know where you'll be in 6 months.
Yeah.
If you just, and like, don't overdo it or underdo it. Just like consistent. Like if you're just starting out, ride 1 or 2 hours every other day. Don't do too much. Just stay consistent with the whole process instead of just, I'm going to go all in I'm going to do like professional level rides and workouts. Like, just write your own story. That's like, I get lost in that sometimes too. Like, oh, well, I should be here, there. No, I like take a step back. I'm writing my own story. So,
yeah, I mean, especially with social media nowadays, it's tough really just to do your own thing.
It is. It's so tough.
I feel like that's like part of anybody that's trying to do anything these days. It's like, what's the saying? It's like there's always going to be somebody that's more good looking, smarter, faster, stronger. Like there's always going to be somebody that if you're comparing yourself in these measurables, like you're going to find yourself falling behind or like falling like behind them. But it's like, I tell people all the time, beef is the comparison of joy. Like I found myself at certain points in life where like I'm flying, I feel good, like I feel comfortable about where I'm at, like, you know, I feel like I'm at a good fitness level, but then it's like you see XYZ and you're like, oh, I'm nowhere near that. But then it's, you know, it's kind of just giving yourself a reality check. Well, like, well, no, this is what I'm doing with myself. I'm not them.
Yeah, you're writing your own.
Exactly.
You're writing your own book.
I'm a unique mixture of my own decisions, my own choices, and my own circumstance.
I think if you're gonna get into road biking or XC biking, get like a good bib with a good pad, especially because you're sitting. Like your butt will definitely start to kill you after a little bit. Like that's probably like one of the most important things. And fueling on rides, like you don't have to get super serious, but like eating while you're riding, makes it more enjoyable because you're not starving halfway through the ride. Like I think those little things just should be.
Yeah, I think that's a
Small
good
steps.
That's a good addressing right there, is like fueling while you do stuff, because like I find myself like it's hard for me to eat or like fuel myself when I'm even hiking, when I'm doing like a 10-hour hike or like a 10 to 12 mile hike, you know, like starting at 7, ending at 5, like, you know, like the only reason why I eat half the time is like I'll feel really crappy and I know I'm like in a hardcore deficit, or like, you know, my girl's like, hey, you need to eat. We just did 6 miles up this mountain. We're at the peak. Like it's time for you to have something. Yeah. And then it's like going down the mountain is 10 times as easy as it was going up because I was like pushing myself through something that like I shouldn't have been. So that's a really good tip right there. I'll probably take that.
I guess like the last thing I can think of is everyone will give you like, be open-minded to everybody's advice if they're better or worse than you. And then just like what I do, I take everyone's advice and then I sort it out and use bits and pieces from everybody's what will better help me.
Yeah,
I'm never going to turn off. I'm never going to like not take advice or opinions from anybody. Like I'm open to everyone's advice. And then if I decide to use it or not is me. Yeah. Definitely be open-minded about it.
Yeah. I say different strokes for different folks. Everybody's different. So
taking bits and pieces is smart.
It's like what's helped me the most.
Can't take everyone's advice, but picking out the things that you think could help you the most. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to hear what everyone has to say too.
Of course. Feedback is important.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your go-to snack on a ride? Because I want to know so I can use it.
My go-to snack, like if I'm out on a ride, a big day, I'm stopping and eating some gummy bears because they're quick carbs. And I know I need the sugars. I'm going to burn it off quick. And I like that. It switches it up from just gels. Like liquid gels gets old after a while.
We're talking like those gel packets, kind of like some of like I've seen like
Carbs fuel.
Yeah, like the Gatorade kind of like the G Fuel kind of things and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that like people might know about.
They're good, but it gets old. Like if I'm on a 5-hour road ride, I'm stopping at a gas station and I'm ripping a pack of gummy bears for sure.
Yeah. That's what's nice about road riding too, because you can stop at these convenient places.
Yeah, like coffee stops are the best on a road ride.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's super cool.
But so on an XC bike, obviously you're packing as light as you can. So the gel packs are probably your go-to.
I've been doing a lot of road riding on my XC bike.
Really?
Which is like kind of gnarly for some people, but for intervals, it's a lot easier because the tire's bigger. So like your rolling resistance is more. So if I get on the bike trail and an interval comes up, I'm not going 30 miles an hour on my road bike past people.
Yeah, I can give you some crazy downhill tires if you want some real resistance.
That's funny.
I might need them. I'm going to Thunder soon.
Oh, there you go. So. Last one for me, or actually, I guess 2 more. We'll get into the other one at the end. But I guess like any inspirations? Like, I mean, John Day, obviously. Anyone that you really look up to in the sport, or?
Yeah, I think like on a more like personal level that I look up to, definitely John, just with everything he's accomplished and how good of a connection
for sure
we've had. And then like on a bigger picture, like I love Hayden Deegan. I love his mindset.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That gets me fired up. I love like the David Goggins mindset.
Yeah.
Like
Embrace the suck.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And then Matthew Vanderpool, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Pro road rider.
Okay.
Races for Alpecin Deceuninck. Just like his mindset, he's had some of the most savage, kind of just like in the same boat as David Goggins. Like they never give up, push through that pain.
Have you met this guy before?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just like
I didn't know if you met
they're
him
like
in
my
Tucson or something.
idol. They're like my idol people I look up to. But on like a personal level, definitely John Day.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just with everything he's accomplished, he's just outside of bikes too, business wise. He's super personable. Like I've never heard
literally the nicest guy.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him. Just like always wants to help people out.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things outside of just him being a savage on the bike that I like idolize.
Mm-hmm. Plus local.
Plus local. So I like know him.
Yeah.
But like I'm running 38 at race day because of Hayden Deegan.
Sick.
Sick. I love his mindset.
No, honestly, he does have a good mindset. I was reading something today on it where it's like his approach in the 250 class is like so methodical and it's so well thought out and he knows his limits. He knows what he can do.
Dude, if you want to talk about someone who does their own thing and doesn't care about what anyone else is doing,
it's him.
It's him.
Hardcore.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Like really, like he rides the line. Like he pushes that exact like mindset to the limit.
Yeah.
You have to. He's writing his own story.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the boys are down here.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else, or you want to hop into Insta questions?
Yeah, we could do right into the Insta questions.
All right, cool.
Sinister. I'm like kind of curious about who asked questions or what the questions are.
Let me connect here.
I hope one of them is about my six-figure salary from Alias.
I hate to say it. Your boys got to go. I got to go again.
Yeah, just go.
Word.
We'll
I'll be back.
Yeah,
keep running it.
So any other goals or inspirations or aspirations for?
Right now, I have a 5-year plan for sure, like where I want to be. But that's like my big picture. I'm trying to play it small right now. I want to focus on winning the race day championship.
Yeah, so you're in that full blown, right? You're doing the whole series.
I'm committed to the whole series. I'm third right now in the championship.
Okay.
So my goal is to win it. I think it's doable. It's definitely tough. Like the competition is not easy.
Are you doing Cat 1?
I'm racing Cat 1, yes.
Okay,
And
cool.
there's some savages that race it. So
for sure.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I
Crow
feel like
Hill,
there's only better people coming to it too.
Yeah, which I love actually. Like I don't want to show up and win like easily. Like I want to win, but I don't want it to be like I show up, I walk away from everyone.
Yeah, you want that struggle, you want that suffering.
I want that challenge too. Like so I can I don't know, I don't want anything to come easy. Like I want to work for it.
Yeah, I totally get it.
And I led 3.5 laps at Crow Hill and we were definitely like all on our limits. And I made a little mistake in the rock section and I just like the gap got big enough that I could never close it. So 4th place, but I felt so good leading the race. I felt so strong, so I was like super confident building.
Yeah. It's weird to me, like the whole XC racing thing. Cause obviously I grew up racing dirt bikes and stuff. So you can't hear anyone when you're racing, but like passing people is very aggressive and just going for the line, passing them, maybe pushing someone out of the way. But XC, I feel like, are you talking to the guy in front or back of you?
I'm like riding hard, like the intensity's there, but it's kind of like lame a little bit because it's like I'm like riding hard behind them and I'm working hard, and then I'm like on your left. That's it. So it's like pedal, work hard, and then I'm like on your left, on your right. That's how it is.
So there's not like battles.
There definitely is battles still, but it's like different because it's like all you hear next to the guy instead of like rev limiter and stuff, you just hear like,
yeah.
on your right.
You ever have any aggressive passing?
Yeah, I've had some gnarly aggressive passing where like I'm totally like elbow to elbow, bar to bar with them.
Yeah,
just as like it's so different. It's like the same as dirt bikes, but at the same time, it's so different. So, yeah. Right now, the focus is just let's work on this race day championship and always keep building fitness.
Gotcha. How do I get to this? I did it before.
What? Get to the questions?
Oh, here we go. I haven't even looked at these. So
Sick.
We got a few.
You sure about that? That's from do you guys know who Tim Robinson is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should leave.
Yeah, that's from. Are you sure about that? That's what it's from.
All right, we'll start from the bottom because I think that's where the first one that came in. So, Speed Racer Bry, what's it like picking up girls at Topgolf?
It's a gnarly experience. It didn't work out well, but she was good looking.
You got to watch out there at these places like Topgolf, man.
That was in Bentonville with the Downhill Devils. We went to Topgolf, and it was
I almost landed her.
Almost.
I hit her with was your boyfriend a professional athlete? And she almost. Nah, I don't think she almost was into me. I don't think she was almost into me.
That was just a hilarious night.
Well, that was a great night.
Chris Laurel, what gets you fired up?
Oh boy, Chris. What gets me fired up? I don't know. Waking up in the morning, I'm just fired up.
I mean, you're a very energetic person to begin with, so.
Life gets you fired up.
Life gets me fired up. Racing bikes gets me fired up. Yeah.
Dude, just about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm always fired up.
I think you are.
I don't know. Like maybe people say no, but I think I'm always fired up. Like everything gets me fired up. Like I was so fired up driving here for 2 hours to do this. I was stoked. I was like, this is so sick. I'm going to do a podcast. So I'm just hammering all the way down here.
Dude's got the zest of life ready to go.
Yeah, I just feel like ever since I stopped going to college, I'm like just fired up.
It's awesome, dude.
I love it.
Yeah. So good for you.
Awesome.
I don't know who this is.
What's your
Renz? Do you know that?
I don't think I don't know.
Damn,
anyways,
maybe we're actually getting people we don't know interacting with us finally.
What's your end goal in life?
I feel like that's such a deep question.
That's a hard question.
That's a gnarly question. My end goal in life?
World Cup champ?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Shoot for the stars, baby. Best XC guy in the world.
Yeah, my end goal for life? I mean, yeah, I want to wear that rainbow jersey one day.
There you
obviously.
go.
Yeah, that's what's up. There you go.
I would be totally content if I won world championship for XCL. I'd be like, that's it. I made it in life.
Yeah.
That's it. I guess that's my end goal for now. That could change in 5 years. I don't know.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. End goal for life at this moment.
At this moment.
Yeah.
Win the race day championship.
All right, from Steph Coffee. This is Brendan's girlfriend. What is the best piece of advice you've been given? Probably came from John Day's mouth.
Could be bike advice. Could be track advice. Could be life advice.
Yeah, I think the best. I don't know. I think the best piece of advice. Trust the process. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's it. I think my mom said that to me a couple times. Just like trust the process and don't take it too seriously. Like enjoy it. Like whatever comes at you, roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get too involved in what you're trying to do and trying to accomplish to not like acknowledge what you're going through at the same time.
Yeah, like be I forget the way she's told me it before, but like
be present.
Be present, but like acknowledge the small steps in life that like are working towards your big goal.
Definitely.
Like don't overlook the small things you accomplish, like leading 3 laps in the race. Like don't overlook that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Take the little wins.
Yeah, take the little wins.
Yeah, because it all stacks and builds.
Right.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Mom's giving the best advice.
Mom is
they usually do.
Best. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They do.
Your parents super supportive of you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it like once I got their support, it like changed my whole outlook because I don't need their support, but like who I am. In order for me to do the best, I like need their support. I need them to be like, we're here with you on this one.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that conversation of, hey mom, dropping out of college to ride bikes was
that
was a gnarly conversation.
That was gnarly. That was like, hey mom, she's like, did you sign up for fall semester? And I was like, well, about that. And she's like, yeah, just sign up. It's all right if you're a couple of days late. And I was like, I'm just not going back.
Like, dude, that is like a hard conversation.
Where were you going? What were you going
I was
for?
in the process of transferring to UMass, Amherst, studying biology.
Okay. Yeah, that's legit.
I was just in the process of transferring there because they had a cycling team. And then I was like, I'm not doing both of this.
Yeah.
So I like told mom, I'm like, I'm out on college. I'm all in on the bikes. And she was like, It literally was like a 3-month long conversation.
Damn.
And then finally she was like, if you're going to go all in on bikes, you need to do it right. Like you have to go all in. And I was like, all right, thanks for your support. Like I can go all in now. Cause like before that I was like super skeptical. I was like, I don't really know what to do. Like I know I don't need her to give me permission.
Right.
But I like want her permission.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then when she gave it to me, I was like, sick.
Yeah.
I never did. I always would tell her like, oh yeah, I registered for classes, blah, blah, blah. I was never going back to school. I just was waiting for her to say yes.
Yeah.
I was like trying to manifest
trying to figure out a way to get that blessing.
Yeah. And then she gave it to me.
Yeah. And then you're off and running.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Got that blessing and then just took off.
Yeah. It took off.
All right. Next question from Jared. This is my brother. He has 3, actually. How's the golf game going?
If I get locked in, my form's there.
There we go.
If I get locked in, my form's there.
Do you actually golf on courses?
No, I've never golfed in my life.
Oh, just Top Golf.
Just Top Golf.
Okay.
I forget where I was in Arizona, and Eric's brother Justin's a professional golfer. Eric Rundle, Justin, and Eric was giving me some tips on my form, and then I was like, I can get locked in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's all about the form in golf. It's all about the form. Once you got that form, just where you're hitting the ball.
Yeah, I'm so out on golf. I've never been more out on something than golf.
Yo, all my boys love golf. Like a couple of my and they're like, when are you gonna get out there? I was like, listen, man, I just don't know if that's something I can.
Dude, that's like everyone. All our old friends play golf, and they always ask me to get clubs.
I don't know if I can get into it.
I too. You know what I tell them?
When I can't do the physical things, I'll do golf.
I tell them, I'm like
I don't know. It's just
I'm like, if you guys tell me if you got a Saturday where there's nothing better to do on a nice Saturday, and you give me a set of clubs, I'll come with you.
Where does the adrenaline come from in golf?
I think the adrenaline comes.
I think it's more of a competition thing.
Yeah, I think it's like you
go to the course, you're betting with your friends on who's doing what. Like
for my buddies, it seems to be like not for nothing. Like they don't all have. I think it's the competitive hobby for people that don't have like a natural competitive hobby when they get older.
Yeah,
I mean that in the most respectful way possible. Like, because not for nothing, man, like I got some friends, they're nasty on the golf course. You go with them to Top Golf, and like I'm trying to play the little Angry Birds mini game at Top Golf, and they're railing like 185 yard like zones and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is actually your thing, like, and it's like an admiration because it's like the math, the angles, like the dynamics of like getting a good swing. Like I get it. When you if you can rail that thing, it's probably
golf's hard. I'm not
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's super hard, but I don't know if I don't even think I have the attention span to sit there for.
I don't have the patience for
18 holes.
I got a buddy that if they go to play 18 holes, he's done by 9.
Yeah.
I played disc golf with my girlfriend, and it's kind of similar, Yeah. You throw the disc, walk to it, pick it up, throw the disc, get it to the hole. But yeah, after like 9 holes, we're cooked.
Yeah, I bet. I can't imagine 18.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say.
Top golf girl ever?
Yeah. Next question. Top golf girl ever hit you back?
No.
You never got her number, so.
I gave her my number, though.
Okay.
She never hit me up, though.
Maybe hey, man, maybe one day she'll be like, oh, that guy turned into a professional XC bike. I should hit him back.
Wonder what he's up to.
Yeah. I'll be back.
Next one, or last one from Jared. When you hooking me up with some Alias gear? Guys reaching right now.
Guys reaching hard. Brother. I think the code's like for 20 or 30% off AER 20 on the website.
Okay.
I think something like that.
That's all you're getting, Jared.
Yeah.
Try that, and if it doesn't work, too bad.
Yeah. hit me up for the code.
Yeah. You need some results from Race Day XC first.
No, he's out on that, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll have to hit him up later about that.
Yeah, bust his
Wait,
ass.
didn't Jared do one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got like super heavy into the training and all that stuff, and then he was training for the race day stuff, and then he did one. He was like, yeah, I don't know if I like this.
He shouldn't get down on it. It's one, though. Like, he shouldn't get down on himself about
I think it's just for the fact of like, we race dirt bikes.
Yeah.
And it's just so much different.
Yeah.
It's such a different race. Like, it's a 2-wheel bike race, but it is so much different.
Oh, way different.
Jared's always been like, he seems like when he figures out pretty quick whether he's into something or not. Like, he's pretty reliable on that.
He likes that enduro riding, though.
Yeah.
Downhill enduro riding.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to do the ESC, Eastern States Cup. Yeah, that stuff.
He should do one.
He was gonna do one, and then he was like, "Oh, it's like $140 to race." And the problem is that it's like a 2-day thing. You know what I mean? Like Saturday is like qualifying and seating and
all that. Yeah,
track
and then
scouting.
Sunday is the actual race.
Yeah.
So downhill enduro, is that what you were talking?
It's just enduro. Those are the two different. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like, what is this kind of thing that he would be doing?
So downhill is basically like a downhill race. It's one course. You take a chairlift up. You ride this course down over and over and over again.
Oh, okay. So
enduro racing is you pedal up, and there's 6 different stages. 5, 6, 7, something like that, and they're all different courses.
Okay.
So every time, so it's way more physically demanding.
Yeah.
Than downhill.
I could understand why there's a little bit of trepidation into that.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know exactly what it was.
Next question from Sleepy313, Adrian.
Yes, I remember him.
What's something you've changed on your bike that has improved your riding?
I think my suspension, definitely. Tire choice, like getting more knowledgeable about tires.
Dude, tires have been huge for me.
I used to just think I'll just run the same tire.
Dude, it's so in depth.
It's way more
crazy.
I'm like on a website, like looking at rolling resistance and like what conditions I'm going to run a tire.
It took me about 3 weeks to understand the whole Maxxis lineup.
Yep. Yeah, I'm like,
I haven't even got into Continental or any other.
No, I can't. I'm so stressed out with just Maxxis. And Eric was like, "Oh, we just got support from Pirelli. Can you get some Pirelli tires?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to learn the Maxxis lineup first. Give me time.
If you figure out the Pirelli line for me, I'll run one and tell you what happens."
Yeah, like I'm so dialed on the Maxxis XC lineup right now.
I feel
for me, it was just, what traction does each have?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is the model of each tire depends on what tire it is. So it's a grippier tire, it's a faster tire,
Mm-hmm.
it's better in cornering, it's better for straight, but it's like there's different casings on the tire.
Oh yeah.
For different folding and strongness, and then there's different grips on the tire, like the 3C Max grip, 3C Max Terra, and it's like,
oh yeah. Then they have like
keeps going.
In the XC, they have like max speed tires and
they have a Recon and a Recon race.
Yeah.
So like, are the Recon tires like lighter or something like that? Like,
yeah, Recon's like a fast rolling. It's more of like a
low
XC
resistance
/ trail tire.
I feel like no matter what, like we'll call it just wheel sport you're in, like the number one thing, like when you ask some old head or somebody that really has a grasp on what they're doing in terms of like the tech and the setup, the number one thing they always say is tire. Because everything on the car, everything on the motorcycle, everything on the dirt bike, everything on
the only thing that connects the ground to the machine.
So it's like you think, oh, does it have a good tire on it that holds air or whatever? Yeah, okay, well you can put it down. And it's like, no, let's get into the science of the tire, and it just turns into this whole exasperated conversation.
Tire pressure.
That's
huge.
Exactly.
What's your normal rate? What do you run?
All right, so I used to run 25 front and back, no matter the condition ever. And I'm like sliding out in corners.
All right.
And then I was like, I'll just run 21 or 22. And then I went riding with Mike Bloom, and he put 15 in my front tire and 17 in my back tire.
Damn.
Oh yeah, that's dialed.
But that kills your rolling resistance now.
Maybe on like a longer, but like when you're just in the trails, I'm so dialed on the corners and over rocks. Like I feel like I have unlimited grip. Like matching certain tire pressures with certain tires is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
People overlook that. I think they just like pump it up and go.
I usually run 20 in the front, 25 in the rear.
I think it also depends what you're doing too. Like if I was going to Thunder, I'm putting a volume reducer in my fork, ramping up the air pressure and running better tires with more air pressure.
Yeah.
And then softening the blow through the suspension instead
like
of the tire.
Everything's changing. But like for XC racing, I'm depending on the course, probably like 17, 18, 17 front, 18 back, and just ripping it.
I feel like that's another thing that people like can take a mind into.
Tire size too.
Tire size, pressure, and then also offset pressures. Like you're talking about like lower in the front, higher in the back, or something like that.
There's
because like I love like equal. I love equilibrium. I love things being equal and like kind of, but at the same time, it's like different parts of the bike do different things and. Yeah,
like when I first started riding bikes, it was just 30-30. That was it. all the time.
This guy's eyes just widened up when you said that.
Yeah.
Guy's like, wait, what do you mean?
Because I rode BMX before this.
Yeah.
And BMX is like 60-60.
Yeah, because you're rolling on friggin' hard
So
surfaces.
me and Brian were like, 30-30's got to be fine. Like, we usually run 60.
Yeah.
That's gnarly. But yeah, to answer that question, tires and tire pressure combination changes the way you ride, like astronomically.
Sleepy's going to be dialing in the tire setup after this one.
Oh, dude, I've been trying to teach him, but it's a lot to learn.
It's so much to learn.
Yeah. Oh. So what are like, so as you both are, I'm picking up that you're both like, you have been educating yourselves a decent bit on the tire deal. What would you say were like your big, like eye-opening tire realizations?
Front and back tire matters a lot. And in different environments, you have to run a specific tire. Like you need the knobs on the back tire matter. Like if there's not a lot of technical climbing, you want to run a back tire with a little bit less knobs, so more tires touching the ground. But if it's like drier, you want a little bit more aggressive front tire so it grabs traction. But if it's a mud race,
you need stuff that sheds mud better.
And you need an aggressive tire in the back
to keep the propulsion going.
And then like on this long race I'm running like Aspen STs, which is like no tread on the tires. They have the best rolling resistance. There's like so many different things. But like once I got that dialed and figured out, I just think it changed the way I ride.
Because I feel like you have, like we were saying, it's the point of the thing you're using, whether it be bike, car, whatever, that's making contact. So it's like if you have more confidence in the contact.
I have more confidence in it now.
I remember when I went riding with Skinner and Joey once, and it was like the first time I took my bike out with them and like rode with guys who I knew were pretty quick. Dirt biking. Skinner and them were like, Skinner was like, dude, you need to have more faith in the front tire. He's like, you're quick. He's like, and they put me out in front and they were like, you go first. And I'm like, no, you guys are way faster than me. I want to go last. And they're like, no, the only way we're going to know what you're doing wrong is if you go in front of us and we follow you. So I followed him and him and Joey were like, nah, dude, put more faith in the front tire. Like you're not leaning, you're not putting enough weight in the front. He's like, if you put more weight in the front and you have more faith and confidence that's not just going to slide out, I promise you'll hit corners harder and you'll like be able to like maneuver that more. And ever since they told me that and I started having more confidence in the tire setup and like what was actually making contact, it did kind of change the way I rode too. So
that's how I feel. Like I like to say like Nick Cordan and Mike Bloom are like my skills coach because they're so technically sound just from racing dirt bikes. Yeah. And they like watch me ride and they're like, you need to like just trust your overall bike more. Yeah. Like just lean it over more, just trust it. And it like having them ride behind me and help me. And like, we've talked through corners and it's like been so helpful. But before that, I never knew what I was doing wrong. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like having a faster dude tell me so helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. You got a good group of people behind you for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like in the group of people you got around you, like it really just goes to show like what New England has to offer. You know, like it seems like they're all local guys that are in your corner. Yep. And so it's culmination of it, man. It's like New England has so much knowledge in every aspect of, whatever it is. It's like we got some of the best.
Yeah, I'm definitely, that's true.
All right, two more. Well, I had one that's not in here that someone texted me. And it was from Jared's girlfriend. And she said, what's the best way to eat eggs? She always comes in with some random question.
She always got the alternative kind of question.
No, the best way is like over easy, like a sunny side up over easy egg. Okay. Where you can like break the yolk, rip your toast in it. Yeah.
All right, I mess with that too. Honestly, Steph would back you up on that. Steph, I make Steph's eggs over easy all the time. Yeah. She won't make them herself because I make the good over easy eggs with the perfect yolk.
I'll eat scrambled eggs, but like if I'm making eggs, I'm doing it that way.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I feel that. If we're going on like a big vacation, everyone's getting their eggs fucking scrambled. You don't get a choice.
Okay. Oh yeah. Everybody. Yeah. Big vacation, lots of eggs. I'm cracking like 10 or 12, ripping them together, scrambling them.
Yep. You're getting it that way.
Yeah. But if I'm making it for myself, I'm doing it right.
Yeah. Nice little over easy.
All right, one more from Sleepy. No, thank you, Lily. Do you understand that?
No. What does that even mean? Is that from Topgolf?
That was from Nick's story.
Nick Malloy?
No. Okay, we're just skipping it.
Oh no! What from Topgolf though?
No,
I'll random.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. I'll explain it to you later. You know the story, but a little inappropriate for the
Sleepy pod. Hella alternative theory kind of shit right now.
Yeah, I'll have to. We'll have to catch up on that. I have no clue what that means.
Circle back later.
And that's from Tim. That's from I Think You Should Leave. Are you sure about that?
Yep,
Really?
last
Sure
one.
about that?
Big I Think You Should Leave fan, right?
Yeah,
I always see you liking every post.
I love it. I just saw his new movie.
I was gonna
Friendship.
ask,
dude.
you
I've been wanting to see it.
Yeah, I want to see
I'm
that
not.
too.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you have to go. Watch
I've heard.
it.
Okay,
it's
good.
solid.
Yeah.
Literally, the whole movie, the whole theater was cracking up.
All right. Maybe we could cross that off soon. We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll
No,
go
you
knock
have
that
to.
out.
I
cross
wanna
off.
see it.
It's
We'll go knock that out maybe
hilarious.
next
Okay.
weekend.
He does it. He's like, it's like I Think You Should Leave clips, and it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Who did he do it with? Didn't he do it with another like good name guy, or is he like the
No,
main
there's
guy?
somebody else in it, but I have no clue. Who
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
like another offbeat comedian or something like that.
Yeah, I just love Tim Robinson. It's hilarious.
All right.
Well,
Is that all she wrote for the night?
yeah. I
You
think
got-
that's it for me.
Got anything else you're itching to get out there, Keegan?
One more question. Well, I guess this is a good ending question. Is what are your goals moving forward? What's
What-
up for
what you got?
what's upcoming? Any upcoming races?
What's the 2025 looking like?
Yeah.
Whiteface next weekend, and then race day. Mountain Bike Nationals is like my thing. I'm like prepping for it. It's at the end of July.
Mhm.
I definitely want to try to go for a podium for Cat 1,
Where's that at?
Roanoke, Virginia.
Roanoke, Virginia?
Yeah.
Is Mountain Bike Nationals, is that like on the mountains out there?
I don't know. I don't know what Roanoke's like.
Okay.
I don't even know where it is in Roanoke. But that's like my A++ race. I definitely want to try to go for a podium. Obviously, a win would be nice, but like a top 5 for Cat 1 Mountain Bike Nationals
Mhm.
would be stellar. And then I'm just going to finish out the race day series and then just back to it. I'm just going to go back to Arizona again this winter.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So
Mountain Bike Nationals, that's like the A+ race.
what's the best avenue for people to keep up with you? Instagram
For sure.
Instagram at all lowercase Keegan Barrows 1.
Keegan Barrows 1.
All right.
That's it. Instagram.
Check out Alias for all your XC gearing needs.
Yeah, definitely get at Alias. Their shirts.
That looks like a good shirt.
Yeah, I'm on the back of it, so I had to represent.
Oh,
today.
really?
yeah,
I didn't even
hell
notice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
Sick.
nice. All right, everybody. You know the deal. This was a good episode. This is a good professional episode we had here. So give us the 5-star. Give us our boost. Go check out Keegan. Support him in the future.
And share it.
Share it up.
Share it
Yeah,
around.
Share it up.
it.
We'll get the don't worry. We'll get the Instagram reels popping so you guys can share those too. We'll revive that, and then just keep doing your thing. Give us recommendations if you want to come on the pod. You think you're interesting enough to get up on here? Let us know, and keep doing what you're doing. Try hard. Thanks for coming on, Keegan.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
You're
And
welcome.
good luck in your journeys.
Thank you.
All right, people. Have a good Sunday night if you listen on a Sunday, because that's what we're listening. We're recording this on. So
That's right. Back to the work week for us, and back to
yeah.
who knows what for you.
Were you training this week?
Training this week. Oh, I wanted to share quick before we end off.
Yeah.
There's a massive rumor about Alias Elite Racing going around that Eric Harrington, he's my teammate, and I are making 6 figures a year racing for him. And I love it.
That doesn't seem.
I love it.
There's no way, but
No,
sure.
it's not true at all. But somebody was just like out in the woods at Thunder Mountain was like, oh, that's Keegan Barrows and that's Eric Harrington.
Dude's rich.
They're making 6 figures a year from Alias. And we're just like, sick. We'll let that rumor fly.
Oh my god! All right. One last little bit. Like, if there's one thing I've learned from like dipping my toes in all these different little like scenes, whether it be drifting, whether it be like the downhill bike, and just like hearing little bits and pieces. Like, if there's one thing I've noticed about anything, it's like, dude, rumors spread like wildfire, and it's like, dude, if you're one of those guys that's saying this shit, like, oh, dude, that guy's making 6 figures, it must be fucking nice. I can guarantee you, whatever you're saying is fucking bullshit. So just don't say it.
I think it's hilarious. I took a picture in front of Lamborghini Urus and posted on my story. And
Oh, there you
thanked
go. You
Alias
cooked
Elite
it.
Racing for
No way.
for the bonus.
Cooked it.
Yeah.
Cooked it. People are so gullible these days.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't see that.
I
That's
posted
hilarious.
it right on my story.
Oh.
Some random Lamborghini in Portsmouth. I just walked up to it, leaned on it, and was like, "Get my picture in front of this thing."
Oh well,
I
fuel.
thank Eric for the win bonus or the top 5 bonus.
Fuel on the fire because he must be making a 6-figure if he's getting a Urus from this guy.
I love it. I just wanted to fuel it.
That was funny. That was funny end of the pod. All right, everybody, keep doing what you're doing. Stay chilling, and let us know if you got any input on what we're doing over here. All right,
Sinister. Thank you guys.
no problem, man. Thank you, Keegan.
Yes, thank you. Peace.
Good night.